It is Saturday night. Sorry for the rhyme, but it's showtime. Ha! That's absurd. Anyway, hello, Danny. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the heart me. All right. We are getting going on TMP. Smoke Kid. Smoke Kid. That's interesting. Joan, hello. Creolin, hello. I love interesting usernames. All right, we are just about getting up and running. Oh man, Danny already did the first goal. Danny is in beast mode tonight. I got to put another goal up. That's amazing. Thank you, Danny. Let's see. That was roses. Let's do heart poofs. Let's do heart poofs. All right, that's what's next. I love the message I get on my screen. Live goal achieved. Check the goal and celebrate the moment. And they have that with an exclamation point at the end. That's hilarious. Bygone, hello. Oh, there's a big one. Yeah, bygone would be BY, wouldn't it? So yeah, it's big one. Big one. I won't ask any questions. That looks like Rollins. As always, the hot lights have me a little sweaty. But, oh, I almost forgot one thing. There we go. All right, now we are cooking with gasoline. All of my technology seems to be up and running. Oh, what a week it's been. It's amazing that social media provides so much information for me. Like, I didn't know Redford had passed until someone told me on one of my live shows. Like, I don't even need the news because, the news is useless. Frank Bartolone, or is it Bartolone? Jason looks like Keams or Kearns. Can't tell. All right, people are jumping in and out as usual. We're starting to get people trickling in. Soaring above tyranny. Good evening. Thank you for being here. All right. I love it when people check in, then they check to see what other lives are on, and then they come back here. I think that's a compliment, really. Even though we're not even up and running really yet. But as always, folks, tap the screen, share the live, daily heart me. It's all good stuff. Now, if for some reason you don't see the daily heart me over my head, that is not a problem. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you did come right at the end, but I'm glad you're here early tonight. That's good stuff. So, yeah, if you don't see the daily heart me over my head next to my name, then all you have to do is go on the bottom row to the gift box. You click on that, and you might have to scroll, but you will find Heart Me. Heart Me, 2 words, Heart Me. And you click on that, and you start getting fan points, and you let the platform know that there is a live happening. All right. We are on the board. We're official. We have 1,000 likes. We need 10,000 to get on the For You page. So let's rock and roll. Let's keep it going. Hello, Carl. Hello, Boo. Hello, Joan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'll introduce the show. This is Yoddah Live. Today is Saturday, September 20th, 2025. We are almost at the fourth quarter, at the end of the third quarter, getting to the beginning of the fourth quarter. Wild. And I don't even have to think about quarters anymore. I'm not in corporate America, but, I'm used to it. Anyway, all right. I didn't introduce myself. I am Yoddah, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And for anyone who wants to rat me out to Disney lawyers, first of all, they're doing damage control right now. They're kind of busy. But second of all, George Lucas did not invent the word Yoda. It is a Sanskrit word that is often used as a name, and I believe it means either hero or warrior. Those are the two definitions that I've heard for that word/name. So there you go. Little trivia for your ass. All right. That looks like VCR 559. Is that what that says? Welcome aboard. And in a minute, we're going to get started, but I'm going to play a song first. So for those who are just joining us, I've got Heart Puffs at the top, 100 of them for sale. You just get to buy them. You don't get to keep them. You just get to feel good about yourself. They're 1 coin each, and the goal is 100. So if anybody wants to knock that out, any group, you don't have to buy all of them. You could buy one. You could buy 25, whatever works for you. But if you want to buy all 100, I'm certainly not going to stop you. Anyway. Oh, Lord. I'm just now finally slowing down on my sweat. Oh, the perils of a fat man. Anyway, there you go. Puff, puff, give. I like that. Progressive Dawn, welcome. Terry Blackett. Is that what that says? Is that a K? Yeah, looks like Blackett. That's an interesting last name. Don't think I've ever seen that last name before. And I've seen tons of them. I don't think I have a Blackett in my contacts, and I have over 4,000 contacts in my phone. So there you go. That's impressive. Ram Jane. Now that's an interesting name. Is that a takeoff of Ram Das? Flower Gal 290. Welcome aboard. All right. So since more people are coming into the room, I'm going to start off with one of my favorite songs ever. I play it to get energized, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. Danny up. Anybody who wants to come up, feel free to request. You can either use the request box if you see any. If you don't, on the bottom row, there's blue and white people. Blue and white. No, blue and red people overlapping. You can click on that and request up. What's up, Danny?
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, there it is.
So it's
A
supposed to
beautiful
rain
day
here
to be
tomorrow. We have a
neighbors.
90% chance of rain, so I'm going to stay in the house tomorrow for sure. One way
All
or
right.
the other, I ain't going nowhere. I might
Okay.
melt. I'm so sweet.
Ah, nice. So you asked an interesting question. How do I find you in your phone book? In my phone book?
Foreign
East.
4,000 contacts. I'm a needle in a haystack in that context,
No, no,
baby.
no, no. It's easy to find you.
I know. I would just
Yeah,
had to.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm very proud of this. It was like 2 days ago, and you didn't notice 'cause I even put the cake up when I did it, but I made it to level 23
Nice.
on your live. So
Nice. I
I'm
think I'm
getting
on
ready to go
like
into
either 19
24.
or 20 with yours. I think somewhere around there.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I am at level 23 here, working on 24 as we
There
speak.
you go. And who knows how many levels there are.
I have no idea. I'm going to try to get every one of them.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so we've got people trickling in. So since this is Chill Saturday, I don't have any particular topic. I do have a video that I can play later. I posted it early today. I am aware that it's a little bit on the controversial side, so I don't know if I'm going to be posting it tonight. But as you
Probably Monday is
suggested,
probably
yeah,
better.
I
Yeah.
was thinking that maybe Monday would be a better day for it. Yeah, it all depends. I can call an audible sometimes and change things up. But all right, folks. So we're at 2,100 likes. We have 12 people in here. We are woefully behind schedule. So, if you could just remember to keep tapping your screen. Um, Generally, we on certain nights we've gone 50,000 per hour, which is crazy. But it is a chill Saturday, so I don't know if it's going to happen today, but I can dream. So, how's your Saturday been so far? I know we were both on AC's live earlier.
Actually, for somebody that didn't really want to do his live today, he actually had a very good live.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
agree.
his attitude warmed up quite quickly as he got some more interaction, and he had a few, excuse me, so-called Christians come up, and
That was
he kind
hilarious.
of, yeah, they weren't very happy when they left. So,
Yeah, right before I went live, I posted something about, you know what, maybe that's what I'll show. That would be a good idea. I'll post that because that was kind of interesting. And it's short, so maybe I'll post it later. Vidya. Da 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 da. Ba da ba 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 ba. Where did I put it? Oh, wrong folder. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And I'll show it right now. I want to call myself a Christian. It seems easy. You don't have to do anything like Christ. You can vote for cruelty and racism and just be angry all the time and be violent all the time. And there doesn't seem to be any repercussions for it. Seems like a pretty sweet deal. And there it is. It reminds me of what Gandhi said when he was asked about Christianity. Apparently, and I don't know if this is true, I don't know if he actually said this, but this quote is attributed to him. He said, I like your Christ. He says, I wish your Christians were more like your Christ. And that's what we saw on AC's Live today. Danny, I think you're muted, or maybe
absolutely.
not. There you are. Um, so Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. This is just my own perspective, right? I'm an atheist, whatever that means. Um, it just means I'm not buying the story, right? And I knew more about the Bible than these people did today that call themselves Christians. Now, that seems like really humiliating to me. But that's why I made this video, because it's like, oh, you could just call yourself Christian. You don't have to read the you don't have to read the Bible. You don't have to know what's in it. You don't have to live by the tenets of Christ. Like, it's easy. Hey, I'm a Christian, and you could just say it anytime you want. Anybody can say it. Anybody can just call themselves Christian. So try it if you want. Seems like fun to me. Now, where do you fall on the religious spectrum, Danny?
Uh, I didn't grow up in a very religious household. I did end up becoming a Catholic. I went through catechism and all that to marry my first wife because it was a deal breaker if I didn't become a Catholic or folks wouldn't allow me to marry her. So that's fine. So I went ahead and did that. My kids were baptized in the Catholic Church. And I was a Catholic all the way till the time that, and I practiced. We went to church every Sunday and or Saturday, depends on my wife's work situation. But when we got divorced, I considered myself a fallen Catholic because I never went back because of the church. Because I was kind of not not forced to go become a Catholic, but I was coerced and
Hmm.
to become a Catholic. And my folks were not happy about it. You know, they were disappointed that I did, but they understood the situation, so they live with it. But right now, I'm a non-practicing. I'm still a Catholic because yeah, I mean I've never been unbaptized, so but
You
I'm not a practicing cat. I'm a fallen Catholic.
can't get undunked, I guess.
No,
Progressive Dawn
no,
says
they
something
sprinkle water on
interesting.
your head.
Could be a follower of Jesus and not be a Christ, Quaker aligned agnostic. Never heard that phrase before, but that sounds perfectly fine to me. Because at the end of the day, folks, and this is said with complete respect, it's all our imagination. Whatever you believe, it's just your imagination. It's just my imagination. And so I don't care what people believe because it's just in your head. None of your beliefs exist in the real world, and that's fine. And everybody's entitled to that. I just wonder why people get so angry at each other over their invisible friends in the sky. That's the part that's never made sense to me.
Agree.
Like the band WAR said, why can't we be friends?
Yep. Well, you know how I feel about that book. It's a book of stories that needs to be in the fiction part of the library. That's what I figure.
Yeah, and maybe the shelf that's titled Badly Written Fiction.
There you go.
Optimistic, good to see you. Feel free to come up whenever you like if you so desire. Haven't heard from you in a minute, so I'd love to chat with you. Yeah. So Progressive Dawn said 300 years post. I don't know exactly what that means. Oh, wait. Christianity wasn't created. Oh, right. Okay, now I see your previous thing. Christianity wasn't created until after Yeshua was crucified. Um, yeah, there's no evidence that he even existed, but, it's a good story. Other religions used it way before Christianity, also. I think the earliest one might have been the Egyptians, which was like 1800 years before Christ. They had the story of Horus and Osiris. Horus was the son of Osiris, and it's the exact same story. Progressive Dawn says I've been used so many times. Ooh, I don't know what that means. Yikes. and Protestants because Henry wanted to divorce or behead his wife. Yeah, yeah. What was it? The Henry VIII created the Church of England just so he could get divorced. Kathy says, "Do you or do you not believe in God?" I guess you're late to the show, Kathy. I do not, but feel free to believe all you like.
Yeah, I believe there's a higher power. I just don't specifically believe it's God. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, gravity's a higher power than me.
That's right.
We can mitigate gravity through jet planes and such, but what I like about gravity and all the laws of physics is that they're consistent. They don't
Right.
change, and they don't need anybody to believe in them. They just exist. You know, like if I hold my chapstick in my hand and I turn my
Right.
hand over, it's gonna fall every
Correct.
time. There's never
Yep.
there's never going to be a time when it doesn't fall.
Yep.
you know. And let's see.
Well, just like you said, you like Father Time. He's undefeated.
Well, I
But
don't.
we've
I don't
never
like
seen him.
father. I don't like Father Time, but I
No,
I
I meant
definitely agree.
the
I
same.
definitely agree
Yeah.
that he is undefeated. Father Time
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah. But we've never seen him, so how do we know he's real? You
Right.
know?
Well, and of course he's not real. There is no Father Time. There's just time, and time
Yeah.
is something that we made up.
Right.
The universe doesn't need time. It doesn't need
Yep.
stars meeting each other. It doesn't need to go to work. We made up time for our own needs. It's
Yep.
convenient. Like I'm sure when we were in small tribes of 150 and the elders said, "Hey, tomorrow when the sun is highest in the sky, let's meet under the big oak tree."
Right.
That was fine because there was no jobs, there was nowhere to go, there was nothing to do except survive, right? So they could
Correct.
do that. And then as we got more organized and had to coordinate more, then we invented time to suit us. And
Correct.
it's fair, it's fine, but it's definitely a human construct.
Well, we
I don't
do
I don't
live in a
see I
make
don't see
believe.
lions checking their watches.
Yep.
You started saying?
I said we do believe in, especially when we were children, to believe in the make believe, like the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, all that stuff. But as we got older, we knew that was bullshit. you know.
Soaring Above Tyranny says it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? That's the old Channel 5 announcement that happened every 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I used to yell out when I heard that question, "My balls," because that's where my
Yep.
children are.
Oh my God. I
I taught my
oh,
son that. I taught my son when people asked him, "Where are you from?" He used to say, "My father's testicles."
there you go.
I always remind him, I was your first apartment.
That's right. Priceless.
But yeah, I mean, I think the question of believing is such a simple one, and it gets complicated by people with an agenda because there's no reason for anyone to have conflicts about what they believe. Like zero, because your beliefs don't affect anyone. The only
Nope,
thing that
just
affects
mine.
other people potentially is your behavior. Your beliefs, no matter how hateful or angry or fanciful your beliefs are, they literally can never affect another human being,
Nope,
right?
absolutely correct.
And Kathy says, "You're right. It's the wrong you, but yeah, I understand we're typing quickly. You're right. I did come in late, but I would rather believe in God and it not be true than not believe." Okay, great. Good for you.
Great.
Like I genuinely don't care what anybody else believes. It doesn't have anything to do with me, and it doesn't
Doesn't
affect me
affect
at
me.
all. So if you want to believe that there's a giant spaghetti monster that runs the universe, if you want to believe that there's a giant teacup circling the planets and doing all the stuff, or if you want to
Yep,
be like me and believe that it's my unicorn that runs things, whatever gets you through the night, man.
that's right.
It seems like
Absolutely.
such a simple idea. And honestly, and again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that I bifurcate between the believer and the belief system. Okay, the believer is the person, right? The believer can believe whatever they want. The belief
Right.
systems are horrifying to me because they're the ones that perpetuate war and hatred and division, right? I believe that religion is a cancer on humanity, and it has done nothing but be destructive. And the little bit that's good that comes out of it is not worth all of the pain, suffering, and people perishing from the earth in very violent ways, just because there's a difference between you know, invisible men in the sky. It's just insane to me. Like, why are we doing this at this late stage in our development? Hello, Billy from Massachusetts. Welcome aboard. That's the first time someone has come into the live and just announced that they're in Massachusetts. That's excellent.
Mm.
I'm excited. I have been to Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, I went basically the length of it, but I stayed in Sandwich, Massachusetts, in a little bed and breakfast. It was really lovely. I'm pretty sure I knocked up my second ex-wife there. Unfortunately, she did not. She did not have the baby, but uh,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh,
that is
brother.
funny. That's I said it to be funny, but I we drove to P Town. We drove to a few other places. So that it was a I and I never went back in the summer because it was the winter when we went. Um, uh, I'd love to go back in the summer because there's great whale watching there. I heard in P Town there's great whale watching. So Billy, what's up? How you doing?
Good, good. How are you tonight?
I'm excellent, man. What's on your mind?
I thought I would join in. I heard your last statement as I was scrolling by. I thought I'd stop when
Mm-hmm.
you said that religion is a cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm 100% with you. I was raised in a very military Mormon family. I was the youngest out of five.
Gotcha. Hold that thought for 1 second. I love what Kathy just says. Sorry, I can't watch this. It's scary, but I will pray for you. See, there. See, this is what I don't like about religion. It makes people condescending, right? This whole thing about I can't hear ideas outside of my own. And if I don't like those ideas, they must be inferior to me. So I'm going to pray for you. It's the fakest shit that religious
Hmm.
people say. Okay. I'm going to pray for you. You might as well just tell me to go fuck myself because that's
Right.
really what you're trying to tell
Yep.
me. But anyway, Billy, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Um, I just thought I would join in, and Massachusetts is a wonderful state. Lots. We have mountains, we have oceans. I love living here. I've lived many other places, but we've got it all right here.
Yeah.
Uh, I love.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I thought
live
it was a
anywhere
great
without the
town.
seasons.
It was funny because it was winter time, and so like after 6 p.m. almost nothing was happening. I think in and Sandwich is a real small town, so obviously it's not like a bustling town, but we did drive along the main drag. I forget what it was called, but we drove there. We stopped in these little shops. We discovered mulled cider. I had never had mulled cider before, and that was
Oh
fucking
yeah,
amazing. So
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if anybody's familiar, but mulled cider, it's non-alcoholic. It's just you take apple cider, you put a whole bunch of these spices in it, and it is fucking delicious.
yeah. I'm glad you were able to experience that off season because it's a fucking nut house during the
Yeah, I've
summer.
heard. I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I would
Sorry.
I would like to go just because, you know, I'm used to hustle and bustle. I'm a New Yorker, so that doesn't bother me at all. But I'd like to go when there's a lot of activities, and like I said, in the summers when whale watching happens. And I've thought about it for a long time. I've just never gone. I did whale watching before on Long Island, but I heard there's even more whales in that area.
Yep. I was an avid deep sea fisher. Like I would go out every Saturday and Sunday out of Newburyport, which is northern, and we would go to a place. It took 2 hours to get there. It was like 20 to 25 miles east,
Yeah,
right straight east. It's called Jeffrey's Ledge, and that's where the whales feed. That's where the fish are. That's why we're fishing there, and that's where
yeah.
where there's whales feeding, there's fish
And what type
because
of whales are
everything's
out there?
chasing each other. All kind.
Yeah.
There's everything. We have sperm whales. We have humpback whales.
Oh wow.
A
And
lot of humpback whales.
humpbacks are
We
the
have
ones
blue
that
whales.
breach, right? Or is it blue whales that breach?
Humpbacks. Humpbacks breach. I think blue whales breach.
Yeah.
Um, Blue whales are just
Have you ever seen that?
ginormous.
Have you ever seen a whale breach?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I've seen it. What happens is the water will start bubbling, and what that bubbling is all the bait fish. The whales have been circling this ball of bait fish from very very deep, and they bring it all the way up, and they take turns opening up their mouths and breaching, and getting all the krill and small fish, the
Yeah.
heron,
Right.
and that in turn, you know wherever there's seagulls and birds, that's where you're
Right.
gonna see all the whales, and it's great. They're beautiful.
Well, soaring above tyranny, they all come to the surface, but they don't all breach. Not every type of whale breaches. Like fin whales don't breach. That what when we say breaching, when we're talking about whales, it's jumping out of the water. You know, almost all of them, almost their entire bodies come out of the water, and that's an amazing thing. And as far as feeding goes, there's a time, I don't know what time of year it happens. I think it's springtime. I'm not sure, but off the coast of the Galapagos Islands, like so many different species are feeding in one area, and it's this wild frenzy. Like visually, it's one of the craziest things to ever see. You know, I don't know if I'll ever get to. I was in that region, um, but not near the Galapagos because the Galapagos is basically right on the equator, and west of that is Bora Bora. It's a fair distance away, but that's where I was, and that was amazing. But yeah, yeah, I did in off the coast of Montauk, and it was the same thing. They went out 2 hours, and it was about 25 miles out, and they had fin whales there. They don't breach, but they are fascinating to watch. Like one there was a mother and her calf, and at one point the mother just turned toward the boat and started swimming toward us, and it wasn't threatening or anything. We just were excited to be seeing that, you know. And that was it. That was the whole thing. And I went. I think I went whale watching 3 times, and I think it was only once that we saw whales. And apparently, well, what I said about that was, well, if you go whale watching and you don't see any whales, then it's a boat trip, you know. So either way, you're fine. But that was the first time, and this was like maybe in the summer of 2000, I think was the first time, or 2001 perhaps. Um, that was the first time that I was on that I was on a boat and I couldn't see land. So that was
Yeah,
weird for me, but it was a great trip
it's
though.
intimidating. We
Yeah,
were fishing in a it was a 20 foot uh fishing boat. That's a small boat,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I mean, he put it on a trailer and put it in the river, and we took it out that way. So we're
Mm,
out in this boat, and a bassin shark. Now, they don't have teeth; they eat krill, but they still look just like a shark,
yeah,
and they still have a dorsal tail.
right.
This swam by our boat, and it was just as big as the freaking boat that we were
That's
in,
wild.
and it was like 8 feet off of the I was scared. Just
Yeah.
just the you know
Yeah,
I
our association with sharks is just sheer terror.
yeah, huge,
So
but
I was in
it's
the
a
water
good
with a
mountain.
shark once. This was there's an island between Bora Bora and Tahiti. It's called Moorea, and I had an idea because we were told that in the cove, which was I guess like a half a mile away from us or something like that, that there was a whale with her calf there. And I thought, oh, let's get into a pedal boat and pedal like, 500 yards out to get a little closer to the cove to see if we could see it. My mistake was that we went at dusk, and that's when the sharks come out to feed. So when we turned around and came back in the pedal boat, in front of us were blackfin sharks. Now, these
Oh,
are relatively small, and in that area of the world, sharks never attack humans because they have so much food there. So they just literally never attack. There was a story of a someone that went out on a boat and hit rough weather and was thrown off the boat and was surrounded by sharks that never bothered him. They were just curious as to what it was that they were seeing, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we're full. We don't need to eat this thing." So the
no,
but
thank you.
still, when you see, well, when I saw the shark, I was like, "Holy shit!" Just because again, the association with sharks is just pure terror, especially since I saw Jaws in 1977.
We
So
were we laughed in living in Massachusetts and the Cape and the islands when in 1978 when that movie came out. I believe we laughed, we scoffed at the idea of any great white sharks being up in our neck of the woods because the water was so cold. Now they all left. They all left the Australian, the Great Bering Reef, and they're all here now because we don't have any. Um, the seals are completely protected, and that's why we have shark infested waters here in New England now. Like you can't go swimming a lot of the time because of the shark sightings, and that's like just been over the past 15 years pretty much.
right.
But back when that movie came out, they were like, we'd never see a shark in these waters, and now they're everywhere. We're infested
By
with
the way,
them.
Jaws came out 50 years ago in 1975, and it was the
Was it
first
75?
blockbuster
Okay.
ever. And back then, um, films stayed in theaters for a long time. Like the biggest films would stay in 2 or 3 years. And so I saw it either in 76 or 77. I kind of vaguely remember that I was 13, so I think it was 77. But yeah, I've been scared of sharks ever since. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, look, I think it's perfectly reasonable to be terrified of sharks. They're fucking dinosaurs, and there's no known natural causes to end their lives. The science cannot verify whether sharks ever pass away of natural causes. So these might be ancient, immortal beings that live in the world with us, which is just fucking wild to me. And by the way, here's some more Jaws trivia. It's Jaws adjacent, really. Um, I didn't know this until probably 20 or 30 years after I saw Jaws, but Peter Benchley wrote the book based on an actual incident that took place in New Jersey in, I think, 1916. And a shark did the same thing in New Jersey that it did in the film. And for whatever reason, he wanted to place the events on Long Island. But either way, it was based. And I'm so glad I didn't know that, because that would have added to my terror. You know, it's a true story. Fucking crazy. Rhodes said, I recently did whale watching on a ferry to a California island national park. It was
Cool.
amazing. I imagine so. I imagine so. Yeah, California, they have those sharks that
It's
attack
working.
from the bottom, and they attack with such velocity that when they catch up to their prey at the surface, they ram into them like a car going 30 miles an hour and just totally come out of the water with their victim in their mouth. It's really violent. But you know, that's why I say, like, I love when these people say, oh, if you want to get a shark off, you just have to punch it in the nose. I'm like, okay, that means there's a few things that you don't understand. First of all, you have no torque when you punch in the
Right?
water because your feet are not grounded, so you have no power. Second of all, most of the time you will never see or hear a shark coming. All right, because they mostly attack from under you, and even if you do see it coming, they swim like 10 times faster than you. So you're just out of luck. As a matter of fact, in the true incident or incidents in Jersey, one of them happened, I think, at night during some kind of dinner party where friends actually heard their friend being eaten, and they
Oh,
thought that they were
Jesus.
just playing around in the water. How nuts is that shit?
Wow.
Yeah. So we still have 95 Heart Puffs up there. Nobody wants to buy the Heart Puffs, and we're not getting a lot of taps. I guess my our conversation is not compelling enough to get likes. So hopefully someone will finish, or a few of you will finish the live goal of 100 Heart Puffs, and maybe we'll get some tapping, because we got to get to at least 10,000 so that we get on the For You page. So let's go, folks. Don't let me down. Tap, tap, tap. So Rhodes said,
Oh, hell.
I want no shark sighting while in the water. No thanks. I like seeing TV and the aquarium. Yeah. I don't like aquariums because I think the same reason I don't like zoos. I don't like to see animals confined in an unnatural situation. But yeah, if I'm in the ocean, because while we were whaling, or while we were on a whaling trip, whale
Huh.
watching, not whaling, that's a different thing. While we were whale watching, there was some kind of like blue shark that passed by. It wasn't huge, but it was pretty big. And I didn't even know that sharks were that color, so that was wild. Let's see what else do we have here.
Yeah, there's blue sharks that'll show up around the fishing boats
Yeah, I
when
had
you're
never
out
heard
there.
of it. I had never heard of blue sharks. I mean, I have no idea how many shark species there are, but I
I
certainly
believe
had
there's
no
over
idea
like
that
a
there were
hundred.
blue ones. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I believe there's like over 100. There are
Oh, really?
several different
Well,
species of
let's
shark.
let's find out. How many species of shark are there? Wow, over 500 species of sharks. Oof. And apparently sharks are still being discovered. Well, that makes
Right.
sense. We've barely We barely have any idea what's in the ocean.
There's so much going on in the ocean that we have no idea. I think there's whole civilizations like from other galaxies that
You
probably
just
take up our
described the plot of The Abyss.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was a great movie.
amazing film. And the thing about it is that James Cameron based the creatures on actual creatures, not necessarily the look of them, but the idea of bioluminescence. There are
Yeah.
in the deepest parts of the ocean where the sun doesn't reach, there are fish that create their own light.
Yeah. It's
Fucking
crazy.
crazy, right? Also,
The
in
angler.
in um in Alien, because James Cameron directed the second one, but in the first one, I think they showed this. Um, you know how the alien would open its mouth and then another mouth would shoot out?
Yeah, that's the go ahead.
Dragonflies.
I
Dragonflies do that. So
okay.
they base that on some real shit.
I
I'm telling you,
wanted to
man.
say a snakehead, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it reminds me of what Hamlet said. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. There's so much that we don't know about this place, and yeah, I mean, I think, like there was a theory at one point, and this is going back probably 30 years. The predominating wisdom in science was that over a certain amount of temperature and over a certain amount of sulfur, life could not exist. And then they discovered ocean chimneys, basically,
Yeah,
which are spewing sulfur out of them and are exceedingly hot, way over the threshold that they said. And it turns out that that's where most life in the ocean exists.
yeah.
So scientists were completely wrong about that.
Oh, can you imagine how much more advanced we'd be if we didn't have certain things in our way blocking science,
Like religion?
like
Yeah,
religion?
yeah.
Yeah,
No, religion is the weakest chain of civilization. And it's, you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So it's the weakest link in the chain.
yeah.
It's just like there have been no questions in the real world that have been answered by religion. There have been no problems solved through religion. And certainly there's nothing that science explains that religion explains better.
Right. Uh, yeah. One point, like with the Mormon Church, since the internet came out, they are losing members in droves, and they cannot. And it's not just the Mormon Church. Churches in general are having a big problem with attendance and people even going to church anymore.
Yeah, I hope that
Um,
trend continues. Rhodes says religion and science, I assume you meant came from the same place. That might be true. I don't know whether that's true or not, and it really doesn't matter if it is or isn't. If that is true, their methodology is completely different. Because when you ask enough questions to a clergy, eventually they'll say you have to just have faith. Science never does that.
Scientists
Faith and
educate
science
people.
are completely separate. Science is constantly trying to discover, it's trying to test and verify, and the job of scientists when a new theory comes out is to do everything they can to prove that theory wrong. And then when they finally exhaust all of the possible ways that they can think of to prove a theory wrong, that is the only time a theory is accepted. It has to be repeatable, it has to be verifiable. Otherwise, it doesn't belong in science. And like when people say, oh, we have to teach religion in school, okay, that's one page. The textbook is going to be one page. Page one, God created everything. What else do you want to teach us?
Yeah, the Earth is 6,000 years old. NASA's lying to us.
Trying to find God, limited mind, separated the two. I mean, maybe science is trying to find God. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard a scientist say that, but again, that's certainly possible. I think I think what science seeks to find, and this is just my opinion based on their methodology, is the truth. Science is just trying to find the truth. So if you have a problem that you have to solve, like how do you feed 340 million people who live in America? Religion doesn't have an answer to that, but science does, right? How do you attend to the sick? How do you cure or mitigate diseases? Religion has no answers to these questions. How do you build cities? Religion can't answer that question, but science can. Danny, you're back. You were teacupping there for a minute. You can unmute yourself. One of the gang calling you.
No, I was just letting you guys talk about whaling and sharks and no, I wasn't. I don't know anything about that stuff. I've seen them, but like I said, I don't know anything about
Yeah,
them.
I barely know anything about whales. I'm just fascinated by the fact that they are mammals. Hey, Vicky
Right,
showed up. How you doing, Vicky? Thank you for the heart. Me appreciate it. Um, I'm amazed that they're mammals and they breathe the same air that I breathe, but they can do things that I can't possibly do. Damn
right.
it. Almost every live show, I forget something. I forgot to turn my notifications off. Anyway, so the fact that it can swim to depths that would crush me in an instant is amazing to me. The fact that it could hold its breath for minimum half hour while it hunts for food or whatever. The
Right.
fact that it can communicate with whales 12,000 miles away, half a
Mm-hmm.
world away. That's fucking crazy. You know.
That's some serious communication skills there. That is some
Well,
serious skill.
one theory is that there's a layer of the ocean because the ocean has different layers to it. And
Correct.
I think a lot of it has to do with the temperature of the water. That's why late in August, when the hurricanes are going, it always cools down for a little while. That's
Right.
because the water from the bottom of the ocean is churned up to the top, and that affects the temperature. But anyway, I don't know what it's called, but there's a layer of the ocean that for some reason transmits sound better than the other layers. And so whales go to that layer, and through sonar, they communicate with each other.
Wow.
I don't fucking understand any of that shit.
No, the only thing I had in common with you guys' conversation was that I have been to Boston, and I didn't pot the cod yet because, or the gods, because I was just in the airport, and I was picked up, and he took me to Concord, and I went from Concord to Biddeford, Maine, and then I came back to Concord and back to Boston. So that's all I saw was the airport in Boston. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent I think we spent either like, oh yeah, it was like an afternoon because when we left Sandwich, uh we we then drove to Boston before we went home, and it
Right.
was, you know, again, it wasn't summertime. I think Boston would be better in the summer because they have the duck boats and, you know, more things to do. But we liked it. We thought it was a pretty cool city.
Yeah, I
Hey,
was
and
there in the fall. It was quite chilly when I was there, going
you
through
get to
there and then
drive
up
over
to
the main
Maine.
bridge.
What's that, Bill?
You get to drive over the big main bridge.
Yeah,
Yep, sure did.
I always love driving over that, either coming home or going home.
yeah,
I spent my summers in Maine, and I was born on Loring Air Force Base up in
Right.
Lewiston.
So you're an Air Force brat?
I'm an Air Force brat, yes sir.
Uh-huh. That's okay. That's great. Air Force. I've lived on a couple Air Force bases, even though I was Army. I've lived on a couple.
there was a
Yeah,
great
I
line that Kiefer Sutherland said in A Few Good Men, because I think he was Marines or something, and someone introduced themselves and said they were Navy. He's like, "Oh, we like you boys. You always give us rides wherever we need to go."
That's right. That's right.
And I know the
Yep.
different forces, they all fuck with each other like that, which I think is funny.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. So what are some common ways that the Army makes fun of other branches of the military?
Oh God. Oh shoot. There is. I don't know.
So
The
let's
the
say let's
biggest
say
thing
you
was
you
the
meet someone who's in the Air Force, or you meet someone who's in the Marines. What uh, no, it's not Alarm 33. It's not devaluing them. This is the world of men. Men fuck with each other as a way of showing how much they like each other. It's counterintuitive, but that's how it
well.
works.
What I usually do with the Air Force and the Marines, if I got two of them in the same room or same area and stuff, is I usually go to the Air Force guy and give him a comic coloring book, and then I tell him to take the coloring book over to the Marines, and I give the Marines some colors so he can have something to color, you know. So, and
See, I
if
love
the
that.
Navy guy shows up, then I mean, you know, it's game over at that point, then because it gets a little bit raunchy.
sailors.
Yeah, gets a little raunchy with
So Rhodes
the
said Samuel
squids.
L.
I call them
Jackson. I don't know
squids.
what film this is from, but he said the Navy teaches us not to piss on our hands.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Rhodes, do you know what film that was? The Negotiator. Okay, yeah, I saw that film. Was that Kevin Spacey in that film? I think I kind of remember that he was in that.
What film was that?
The Negotiator.
Kevin Spacey, The Negotiators. No, but Samuel L. Jackson was in it. I
I
can't
think he
remember
was.
the
I
like
think he
guy.
was in it. I'm going to check right now. The Negotiator.
It might have been Spacey, but I know it's
Yep,
Samuel L.
he was in it.
Jackson. Yeah.
This
Thought
is
we
film
canceled
trivia,
Kevin
Danny. You
Spacey.
know, I'm surprised you doubted me.
I know you. And what's really thing about you is when you get or you guess, you go, holy shit, is that right? I can't believe I knew that.
Well, this one I wasn't surprised at because I did see The Negotiator, and generally what happens is if something springs into my head, there's like a good chance that there's like a 75% chance that it'll be true. I don't
Right.
necessarily know, but I'm like, oh, isn't it this? And that's which is exactly what just happened. So
Right.
Samuel L.
So,
Man, do you know? Here's some Samuel L. Jackson trivia. He is the highest grossing actor of all time.
Yep, like
Really?
7 billion.
People think it's like Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise or all that other
No.
stuff. Samuel L. Baby.
You have to give him credit where credit's due. He is a good actor, and he plays a lot of different parts.
Yeah, but he's another one that kind of plays himself in every film he's
Yeah.
in.
That's true.
You know,
Denzel Washington had different,
yeah,
shape. Yeah,
yeah. Samuel L.
that's
Like
true.
he did in I think his
The
big break
Kingsman.
might have
So
been
awesome.
oh shit, Jungle Fever, where he played a Crack head, and it was very dramatic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see what film that was.
I've got
Samuel
a question for you after you get through looking that up.
Jackson played a blank head. Oops. Samuel Jackson. Oh, that's funny. So apparently, Samuel L. Jackson got a role as a blank head right after he had quit being a blank head. That's funny. So let's see, what film
Wow.
was that in? Come on, man. Tell me the answer. Boom, boom.
Hey Yoda,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask your opinion on Three Eye Atlas.
Oh, wait. So, wait. Do the right thing and Mo Better Blues. They want Oh, it was Jungle Fever. It was Jungle Fever. I was right. Okay. What's your question?
I wanted to know what your opinion was on Three Eye Atlas.
Have no idea what that
This
is. So I have no opinion on it. What is it?
this comet that's headed toward us, and it's supposed to be here October 29th.
Oh, is that the one flying between the moon and the earth or something? Or the sun and the earth?
Yes, on the
I
other
have
side. It will be on the.
I can't imagine having an opinion on a comet. What is there to have an opinion about?
Well, they're saying it's not a comet; that it's like a city, and it has intelligent life, and
Who is
uh,
saying that?
NASA
NASA saying that?
a Harvard, or it was an MIT or Harvard physicist was saying that it's made of nickel. It's giving off just only carbon dioxide. It's got a shit ton of really weird factors going on with it that I can't say off the top of my head, but was uh, asking your opinion. But yeah, if you hadn't really heard much about
Yeah.
it, never mind.
I mean, from what you're describing, it sounds like whoever's saying that is a crackpot. Because how in the world with the speed that comets travel, or whatever it's traveling as, if it's described as a comet, it must be traveling pretty quickly. So how are they going to ascertain information
Yeah,
about it? You know,
If I may, we
please
have
do.
16 people in the chat. We only have 8,300 likes.
at an
I
hour,
know,
what
I
is going
know
on
that you
here?
guys, we've been on for an hour and 11 minutes. Now, I know you guys are enthralled at the whaling stories and humpback Yoda, whatever you're listening to. However, you need to keep tapping the screen, please. Let's get him up to 10,000 likes in the next 5 minutes. We're only like 1,500 away of doing that. Plus, on top of that, we have 75 heart puffs left at a coin each. TikTok coin. That's less than a penny. So please help Yoda out, knock out this gift go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danny. Yeah. The Nutty Broad, thank you for saying they can tell what minerals by the color. I don't doubt that, but that's a far cry from, telling minerals to telling if there's intelligent life on it. That's a big gap. Alarmy says, so I have to say Samuel L. Jackson book read are every parent's thoughts at bedtime. Oh, I remember he read a book called "Go the Fuck to Sleep," something like that.
Go
Yeah,
to
I
fuck
heard
you.
I heard a snippet of it. It was pretty funny.
So my question was for you, Yoda, is in your opinion, out of Denzel Washington's many films, what was his best in your opinion and his worst?
I think I might have seen his worst recently. Um, with that
You're talking about where he's about
low to
mogul?
high, high to higher to
Yeah,
lower, something like that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that wasn't his fault. That was just terrible writing. You know,
Spike Lee.
they did a fantastic job. But this is the problem with Spike. Spike is he's extreme. It's either hit or miss with him. He doesn't do films down the middle, right? And he had a really strong first half of the film. I really enjoyed it. I was into the story. I had predicted part of it, but I don't think that was that hard, because directors do things to give their viewers hints at what's going on. And because I've seen so many films, I've gotten pretty good at picking up on some of the hints. I don't catch all of them, certainly, but in this, it was obvious what the beginning of the story was about. And, even though there's a couple of things that Spike did that annoyed me, like when he would do two or three cuts of the same moment, what the fuck was that about? I didn't understand that technique. And even his swipes, his scene swipes had that silhouette of a woman going across.
Right,
Why? Why? I didn't understand that. And those kinds of things take me out of the moment. Like
right,
you're doing a good job. You got my attention. I'm invested in the story. I'm interested to see how it ends. And then you're doing this goofy shit. But then once they got to that middle part on the train, I was done. I was just done because it was so absurd that the perfection of that was just so absurd to me.
right.
You know, like A, you knew what was going to happen. B, you're standing in the perfect place. Yeah, that's just dumb. Just dumb.
So did you give it a review on IMDb?
No,
Did you
no,
review?
I don't do that many reviews. And normally, if I review something on IMDb, it's because I like the film.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't see the
I
point
was
of doing a
curious.
negative review. You know,
So what's his best film that you did, in your opinion?
I liked Mo Better Blues, but I think, that has a lot to do with Don Cheadle also. Don Cheadle played Mouse and had the funniest line in the whole film. Um, they were kind of he Don Cheadle was a gangster basically,
Right,
and at a certain point, Denzel asked him to keep an eye on this dude, and Mouse didn't like what this dude was saying, so he popped him. And when came back, he was like, "What'd you do?" And he says, "Well, if you didn't want me to off him, why'd you leave him with me?"
so this is called Mo Better Brews.
Mo Betta Blues. He plays a trumpet player in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one, but I'll have to look it up.
that's a pretty good one. Of course, Malcolm X. Um, the only thing that I didn't like about Malcolm X is that Spike Lee was in it. Whenever he inserts himself into his films, he
Right.
annoys me because he's not a good actor. You know, like Scorsese put himself in Taxi Driver in one short scene, but it was a very compelling scene, and he did a great job in the scene. So I don't
Right.
mind that. But whenever Spike tries to act, it's. I mean, I think he did okay in Do the Right Thing. It was okay, but it was still over the top for me. Like he annoyed me in that film. But that luckily it was a really really good film. But yeah, I mean, Denzel. I don't begrudge him his career. I'm glad that he's been successful, but I don't really see the kind of acting chops that I see with like Robert De Niro or Meryl Streep. Like Meryl Streep, like just becomes a different human being when she does a role. And it's 100% believable, and you never see her acting ever. Like, did you ever see Sophie's Choice?
Yeah, I believe I did. Yeah, I think I did.
One of the saddest films ever. I suspect that maybe you didn't, only because it's such an impactful film that people remember it vividly. And so there's a chance you might not have seen it. But if you haven't, I would strongly suggest it. Sophie's
Yeah, I'm
Choice.
almost sure I have seen it
Yeah.
because yeah,
I was an usher when Sophie's Choice came out, and it wasn't even on my radar to see it. The reason I saw it was all of these older people were coming out of the theater crying their eyes out. Like they were just wrecked by the film, and that attracts me. Like a film that can move me emotionally is something that I really enjoy, you know? So I saw it, and it was devastating. It was absolutely devastating. But her performance in that film, just like, give her all the awards forever. She deserves all of them. And I think one of her breakout role was something like The Other Lieutenant's Woman or The Lieutenant's Other Woman, something like that. But what the fuck was it? Now I have to remember the title. Come on, man.
Hey Yoda, I'm gonna bounce and give someone else a chance to come up, but I'll
There's
keep an
there's
eye out
plenty of
for you.
space, so if you want to
yeah,
stay,
we're
you can
good.
stay. But if you want to leave, that's up to you.
Oh, if there's plenty, I'll just hang out
Yeah,
with
we
you.
have 4 other boxes, so don't worry about it. Um, okay, IMDb. Let's. For some reason, I'm thinking it's the something Lieutenant's Other Woman. Uh, real. Come
Oh,
on,
Who else is on the panel?
Danny is.
Danny. Hi, Danny.
how you doing there, Bill?
I'm doing
I don't
good
think
tonight.
I'm following you. I don't think you're following me, so I'll give you a follow.
Okay, thanks. I followed Yoda.
Thank you. Come on, where is it? I know this
Well, I
was
gave
like.
you a follow, so if you want to follow me, go ahead.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My God, she's
We
done
made it to
so many of them.
10,500 likes in
All right.
almost an hour and a half.
Well, that sucks,
So,
but that's all right.
Well, we made it.
oh,
Ah,
I
there it
know
is.
between 9 o'clock we can get to
The
15,000 likes,
French
folks. Come on.
Lieutenant's Woman. That's what it's called. The French Lieutenant's Woman from 1981. I think that was like her breakout role, and then
Oh, that one was?
yeah, and then she's just been on a tear ever since.
That's a good movie, French Lieutenant Women.
I didn't
woman.
like it that much. It was okay, but I think also I might have been too young to appreciate it.
That was probably the biggest part right there.
But I mean, she's done so many. And she can do comedy. She can do drama. It doesn't matter. Like what it doesn't matter what role she's given. Every move that she makes on screen is completely believable. Um, it's completely real. And you just never catch her acting. Like that's a thing that I say about actors. Like I don't like actors that I notice acting. You know, like who's the opposite of Meryl Streep? Uh, Kristen Stewart, that young chick, Winona Ryder also. Although Winona Ryder, when she got older, she became a slightly better actress. But Kristen Stewart, the one from the Twilight films, she's like a piece of wood. No facial
Nice.
expressions,
Yeah.
no emoting. It's like, hey, you're paid to act. Like, do something.
I'm a fan of Winona Ryder's. I like her. I did hear. I heard that she was not pleasant um, during a making of the Salem witches or something.
No,
There
I
was
don't
a
know
film
her,
she
so I
did.
don't care.
Yeah, it was, but she was the character. One of my friends lived in Salem and tried to meet her, and she wasn't having anything to do with the paparazzi or fan
Well,
clubs.
if that's the evidence for her being unpleasant,
Yeah, right.
that's pretty shoddy.
Yeah,
That's pretty shoddy reasoning.
yeah, yeah.
But
I'm a fan of her though.
oh, alarm me! Thank you for reminding me of Amy Adams. First of all, I am in absolute love with Amy
Amy
Adams.
Adams.
I
Oh.
love her voice. I love her mouth. I She is a great actress, but I think she's one of the schmexiest women out there. And I don't even
Mm-hmm.
like small chicks normally, but she's hot as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's another one. She can do anything. She was the one in was it First Contact? The one about the aliens. Let's see.
He was Contact.
Not Con. I think Contact was Jodie Foster. I think this one was First Contact. Although sometimes films are named the same. But let me see. No, I was wrong. It's called Arrival. Arrival is the one about
Yeah.
the alien contact. That was a great film. Contact, I loved also. That was Jodie Foster. That was a brilliant film.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, Vicky got it before I did. Arrival. Yeah,
And that was Amy Adams.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
gorgeous.
And it's funny, like I don't even think she's like that amazing looking, but because when I say someone schmexy, that's like about a vibe, you know. So, but I feel that way about Kim Whitley too. She's a lesser known comedic actress, but she's got a vibe to her. As my friends and I used to say, I want to be on her. Although these days I don't really care, but I still appreciate women, even though I don't. I stopped dating them a few years ago. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in the chat here.
I haven't been with
Uh,
another
good,
woman since 1997.
good night, Rhodes. You said you haven't been with a woman or another woman.
I haven't been with another woman since 1997.
So I take it that means you're married.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So
we dated for like 10
are
years.
you happily married?
Yeah, Yeah, I
Well, that's
am.
good.
Good. Two kids just out of high school. Yeah, we're yeah growing old together.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I'm
lucky.
I'm I'm growing old with my second ex-wife, although we're not together. We actually have a video call scheduled for tomorrow morning. That should be fun. Yeah, I the agreement that we have is as we get older and start falling apart, we're going to get back together to help each other out.
So you're friends.
We're very good friends.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a
Probably
much better relationship
trust
now than
her
when we were
more.
married.
Yeah. Yeah, like even if we ended up ever divorcing, I would still trust her like with all my money and everything.
That's a stretch. I didn't trust my wife with my money when we were married. I never had a joint account in my life. I don't believe in that shit. And what's his face? Anthony, what the fuck is his name? Opie from Opie and Anthony. Anthony had a very contentious divorce, and this chick cleaned him out of their mutual account.
You know, back when I got married the first time in '71, a woman couldn't even have a checking account.
Right, that wasn't until I
And
think 73 or 74.
yeah, but anyway, but they would allow me to put my wife on my account
Right.
as long as I gave permission.
Yeah.
And but she wouldn't have had an account unless she was, it wasn't for mine.
Yeah, I've never allowed to be to have no, I've never allowed anyone to have access to my bank account
Well,
and
I
never
learned
would.
my lesson. Trust me. After 23 years, I'm married to that evil so and so. I never had one on the same again after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, when women are scorned, they become sociopaths. So I don't want anything to do with that, you know.
uh,
Alarm Me says as a signer but not able to be an owner of the account. I don't know what you're referring to. I know that in 73 or 74 they got full access. Well, I think it was like back to back. 73 was like banking and 74 was like mortgages, something like that.
something like that. I know that when we bought the house in '72, I was the only person on that title at that time. But when we sold it and we bought the house in '76, then both of us were on it then. So I think that's about when it all came together. And of course, every house thereafter, we both were both on the loan and everything, background check, all that.
So the nutty broad, just to be clear, I didn't say women are sociopaths. I said when women are scorned, they can become sociopaths. Ask any man about that, and you'll hear the same thing. I remember when my mom got her own account and cards. Vicky said that. Yeah, I mean, look, this is this is the kind of progress that MAGA hats are rebelling against now. Let's face it, they hated the 60s and the 70s when minorities and women got on equal footing. They didn't want that. That's why they're doing all the shit they're doing now. And Dump is out of control at this point. I mean, the thing with the boats in Venezuela, it's like these are WAR crimes, man. Crazy shit. But anyway, I won't delve into that because this is Chill Saturday.
Well,
uh,
it's going to be a fiasco tomorrow uh, about that dude down there in Arizona is going to be whatever they're going to do with him. And it's going to be national. It's being required that every station has to cover it.
I have no idea what you're referring to, so I guess I'll figure that out
We're
later.
talking the CK dude that got an accident last week in Utah.
Well, no accident. He was a victim.
But that's I know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to keep the line safe.
yeah.
So he got poo pooed there in Utah, and they're having a big to do about tomorrow. And thank God I ain't gonna be watching it. So
Yeah.
I got plenty of movies to watch all day tomorrow, so
Listen,
I'm good.
anyone's entitled to mourn whichever way they feel like mourning.
Yep.
I just can't stand the fiction that's being perpetuated about that guy.
October 14th is going to be a special day that Congress is going to pass a law where it's going to be required. It's going to be like a national holiday.
Is it a holiday or just a commemoration, like a day
I, I,
that's?
it's going to start off as a commemoration, but I have faith that it's going to become a holiday.
I don't understand why Democrats voted for that. It's absurd. Alarm me. How
Hi,
you doing?
hi, Yoda. Sorry. Sometimes when I type, you can only put so much in a line. Um, the thing that's frustrating is like the comments of, "Oh, well, you're taking it out of context." What his viewers are or his supporters are saying are actually the sit downs that he did normally with a preacher next to him and like minded individuals in the audience, where he was weeks, months later after getting flack of the things he said in debates. Now he's having to re backtrack his words, make them more palatable in a pretty package, and giving the same message that he gave during the debate 2 or 3 weeks or months ago.
All I know is this: I was on the U-shaped tube earlier,
Hmm.
and I made a comment about what a vile human being he was, and someone asked me, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" You know, MAGA hat. Where'd you get that from? CNN? And I was like, "No, he had a podcast, and I have eyes and ears. I heard the man. I heard what the man said. At one point, he said that black people were better off as slaves. Like, go fuck yourself, man. What are you talking about?" And that's
Well,
that's probably the least offensive thing he ever said, and that's pretty fucking offensive.
well, and what they so his debates weren't actually like his speech pattern wasn't really a debate. It was a speech pattern to put a hot topic out there, gain an audience, make him or distance himself from it. They had like there's 6 steps to his everything that he stated. So it gave him plausible deniability while being that it's okay to feel this way about that hot topic. So he was validating the aggressor, the aggressive behavior of that hot topic as being a valid reaction for it. And then that it was okay to think that way and to feel that way because, that's your right. But then also changing the subject, then he'd come back to it, give a Bible verse, and then walk on. So it's a pattern of his speech. I want to say that it had something to do with um, war. Not necessarily. It's like a speech pattern study that they've done on cults and such, where the leaders were able to bring people in, keep them there. It like in the thought
Yeah,
process
it's
just by
it's it's
speech.
called propaganda. That's what he spewed. Just propaganda, and it was mostly hate speech, misogyny, racism, all that shit. And the people that want to, the people that are defending him are the people that agree with him. It's that simple. Because the people that see him as vile are people that don't agree with the disgusting rhetoric that he put out. And this new narrative that, oh, the left is so violent. There's just no truth to that, you know. And I'm not picking teams. I'm picking facts, right? The facts don't support all the bullshit that's coming from the right now. You know, like these people in they speak with forked tongues. They'll say that something is wrong for us to do, and then they go out and do it 10 times worse. You know, they'll say,
Absolutely.
"Oh, the left stokes violence." I'm like, on what planet? Not on this
or
planet.
that we're the aggressors,
Yeah, that's a
which is
joke.
funny because we mostly will petition and protest. We're not the ones that are actively out there when down to the who did what.
Here's a post that I made a couple days ago. When the left experiences uh, weapons violence, they call for a removal of weapons. When the right experiences weapons violence, they call for more weapons to harm whoever they want to harm. That's how that works. And they can try to gaslight people all they want. I cannot be gaslit.
You have a propaganda parrot in the chat named Patriot.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah,
And now he's gone. You know, you know, these people that want to tell me the sun rises in the west, I'm sorry. You can't convince me of bullshit. Okay? I see what I see, and you don't have to have any political leaning, any political agenda. I don't know why he got treated like a politician, because he wasn't one. He was a hate monger. That's what that guy did. I love the question that this idiot asks. Have you seen your own protests? Yes. And what I've seen is that the Boogaloo Boys were the ones that were wrecking shit because they were caught on film doing it. What I've seen
yeah,
was the protests were peaceful until the police showed up and inflicted violence. So yeah, I have seen my own protests. And you motherfuckers can't convince me that the sky is purple. Okay? You can lie amongst yourselves because you're fucking idiots, but you can't lie to me. You're not smart enough.
yep,
That's why MAGA hats
absolutely.
hate me, is because I humiliate them because I'm 10 times fucking smarter than any one of them. Charlie Kirk was a smart sounding dumb guy. His fucking takes on life were fucking stupid. You know why he debated college students? Because if he debated adults, he got shellacked. And because college students in England are smarter than college students in America, when he tried debating college students in London, England, he got smoked by these kids 18 to 22 years old. As a 30 or 31-year-old man, that must have been fucking humiliating. But he never went against other pundits like Sam Cedar or what's the other guy, David Packman, or people like that
Right.
that are sharp as fucking razors. And like, you're never going to get over on these people because they have the facts. He would never debate those people, and they requested debating with him. He would never do it because at least he knew his limitations. He knew he wasn't smart enough to debate smart people.
Absolutely. That's correct.
So all these
OG
people can.
nerds in the house.
Oh, excellent. Hi, OG Nerd. So all these people can fucking say whatever they want. They can jump on the ground and spin around like Curly from the Three Stooges. You're not going to convince me of what you're saying because I have eyes and ears. I know English is my second language, but I've mastered it pretty fucking well, and I understand it at a college and above level. So you're going to tell me that I misunderstood everything this motherfucker said? When he said that if I get on a plane and I see it's a black pilot, I get nervous? What was the context for that I'm missing?
Right.
You know, you take it out of context. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard regarding that fucking piece of shit. Hello, OG Nerd. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful. This is Chill Saturday. 90% of it so far has been other shit, and we just spent the last few minutes talking about CK.
Oh, CK. Ooh.
Yeah,
He's a piece of shit.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he was.
and you know what I find ironic is that I believe that every person, every prominent political person, whether they're in politics or whether they're pundits or in that sphere that's on the left, all said we do not condone what happened to CK.
Right.
But you know who did? CK condoned what happened to him.
Yep.
He said specifically, fatalities are worth it so that we can own these weapons and we can maintain
2A.
2A.
Yep.
That's what he fucking said. When they're accusing us of hate speech, you know who said hate speech didn't exist? CK did.
That's right.
Okay? So all these motherfuckers can say whatever the fuck they want. They're all full of shit. I saw and heard what the fuck this guy said, and I'm not stupid. Most MAGA hats can't hold a fucking candle to me because I'm way smarter than most MAGA hats. Because in order to be a MAGA hat, you've got to be a fucking moron.
I agree with that statement.
You know, and there are smart
Yep.
people that have been intimidated by me, so morons don't stand a fucking chance. I know who I
Absolutely.
am and I know what I do. And one thing I don't do is let people fucking convince me that the sun rises in the west or the earth is flat. Sorry. Sell that bullshit on another corner. But that's what they're doing. That's the right. The right has decided that their whole new thing is let's pretend that facts don't exist. I mean, they were kind of like that before, but this is the most egregious example that I've ever seen of that. Just like, oh yeah, it's the left doing all this shit. Hey man, we have statistics about this stuff, but I'll tell you why they're doing it. They're doing it because they know that MAGA hats are fucking dumb. And they know that MAGA hats don't verify anything. They don't read. If they do read, they don't understand. And they just will believe whatever aggressive talking head on the right says. And if Daddy
Right.
Donnie says it, well, they know it must be true.
They also know very full on well that they're not talking about the Epstein files, are they?
Yeah.
You know,
The
Well,
most recent. Oh,
they're
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
they're
to break
pushing
that.
all this KC because it's taking away from the EFs,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know,
and they're buying it.
I think that Dump at this point is like a caged animal. He's feeling the walls close in on him. Just either today or yesterday, he went to a restaurant in DC and there were protesters there. They did not threaten him. They did not do anything that was against the law. They just yelled some things. I think mostly they were concerned with what was going on in the Middle East, which, of course, how could you not be? America is supporting a country committing a genocide right now. That's unfortunate. And what Donnie said as a result of that is that those people should be arrested. And not only arrested, charged with RICO. And here's his dumb fucking logic. He said there's no way that these individuals were acting alone, as if citizens couldn't disagree with him. They must be paid. It must be a conspiracy. This is the guy who has the nuclear codes.
Well, and the thing that's kind of scary too is executive orders are not law. They don't have to be followed. They are actually just a wish list from the president until they are put into law. They're
Yeah, but
not
they can
processed.
be
They have some weight,
implemented before law. That's the problem.
right? But they also don't stand water a lot of times when they go up against legal contradiction.
Yeah, but the
Causing
problem
a
is
whole
you have
lot
a
of
Supreme
problems.
Court that's insane right now. This is easily the most corrupt Supreme Court
Oh yeah,
that ever existed in America.
and documented corruption.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like
Bruce
Clarence
Wayne.
Thomas, who I like to call Clarence Uncle Thomas, he is essentially the same as a fucking Plenty of Fish hoe in 2009. You know, you could just
Such a
buy
piece
him
of
anything and he'll just do whatever the fuck you want.
Such a piece of shit. They all are, though.
Well, the other thing too is there's some things that they forget about, like Southern District of New York, a 2016 case that still, you can pull the document up. It does have Jane Doe and Tiffany Doe in those documents, along with JE and JDT. And it's a 2016 case that's in the Southern New York District that's readily accessible, and you can see what his role was.
Mm-hmm.
And people still don't believe it. Oh, well, people can sue anybody. But it was dismissed without prejudice, which means it's still able to be refiled because,
I wonder how much evidence people need to be convinced of the truth.
right.
Like, this is a truckload of evidence at this point. You know, this is a pattern that has existed for decades and essentially his whole life. This is how he's been his whole life.
Well, and whose plane was he using during his campaign?
That to me is the least of the issue.
Right,
You
but
know,
it shows that there's some connection. How did he get a hold
well,
of that?
there's 1,000 things that show the connection. That's the
Right.
point. Is that we don't even have to go to after the guy passed away. He's riding on his plane. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit about is what they did together while he was around.
Yeah.
Well, and him trying to say that his wife's signature is close to his, like trying to play it off like someone else might have signed it. But didn't we all get a statement from DJT with his signature on it saying that we were going to get a beautiful check from pandemic funding that wasn't his to sign it as his own gift to us, that has his signature on it. So we all see that trailing little trail at the end of his signature.
Like I said, it's just an avalanche of evidence. At this point, these people that are like, he's not a convicted felon. What we're dealing with is abject stupidity. We're dealing with cult members that will never accept the truth about this man. That is the nature of a cult, right?
Right.
The cult can't be wrong, and the cult leader can absolutely never be wrong. So these are lost children that have authoritarian minds. They need a daddy, and he has promised to be their daddy. I alone can fix the issue. I alone can solve your problems, which is what every dictator in history has said. All right. But if you're a cult member, then you're just going to accept it. You're going to accept everything he says. You know,
Well,
they have found a way to contradict all of their held beliefs. They said they were the party of family. That's a fucking joke. They said they were the party that backed the blue. That's a fucking joke. They don't give a fuck about law and order at all. They say they're Christians. That now has become fucking laughable. I'm
Protecting
more of a
pedophiles.
Christian than MAGA hats are, and I'm a fucking atheist.
Well,
What
and
you what we're
Can
seeing
I?
right now too is, the fruits of the Kremlin and Mossad.
Hmm.
And that's the big dirty secret that no one can get out. No one can actually know the truth, that this is a big honeypot for Mossad,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah. I
Kremlin
mean,
has been toting up his
who's
ass.
his first wife? Was it Ivana or Ivanka? I always forget which one is which.
Ivana.
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 Who was Ivana's father? Dump's father-in-law.
uh
KGB.
No.
They've
well,
been using this guy for
Since 87.
decades.
Yeah, since 1987.
Yeah.
And the project there, the the morality, the loss of morality for America. The Kremlin's been working on this for like 30 fucking years
Yeah.
because of KGB defected in like 1987 and told them about the great demoralization is what it's called. And that's what the Kremlin has been working on. And Donald Trump is a very big, it's like the icing on the cake for this
Yeah, they
operation.
were counting on the fact of how malleable and stupid Americans are, and
Yeah,
they were 100% correct.
yeah.
well, and the Heritage Factory not only has the U.S. branch, but we're part of a sister church that had gotten donations funneled in from the sister church of Russia. They also have Heritage Factory of UK. I'm not using the real word to
Hmm.
get protected, but
Wow.
it was started by a church in Russia that then put money and funneled money into an organization in the U.S. around that same time, about in the 70s, though. This has been going on for a lot longer than people realize. Heritage Foundation's been around a little longer than we've known, as far
Well,
as like the,
we actually know exactly when they formed.
50
well,
years,
yes,
Yeah,
right?
it's
yeah,
50 years.
but
Yeah.
they were coming in even during the 40s, but it was not a foundation or a given sect. It was trialed overseas before it came to us. It didn't go well.
Yeah, there
Um,
was an attempt by fascists. I think it was
yeah.
either the late 30s or the early 40s to take over the American government. So that we've been through this before, but this time it's succeeding.
And
Can
then,
I?
Go ahead,
Can I
OJ.
circle? I want to circle back to something just real quick. You were talking about the MAGA people not living up to their values, and these are the people that vowed, because of their 2A rights, that they would fight tyranny if they ever saw it. And here we are in the midst of tyranny itself, and they're rolling over like puppy dogs, ready to get their
But
belly
the way
scratched.
they've done that is say, "Oh, what? There's nothing happening. There's no tyranny."
Right. And um,
America.
and um, so it mystifies me. As far as Russia, I don't know if you're aware of it, but Russia has flown over Estonia, I believe,
Hmm.
and Estonia has activated Article 4. And the U.S. has basically told the eastern nations that border Russia, that are NATO nations, that they can expect less help from the U.S. because we are going to concentrate on protecting the homeland.
Isn't that wonderful? And how
Yeah, and
ironic that America is the only country that ever invoked Article 5.
I know,
well,
right?
and
yeah,
even more horrifying is this is doing nothing but damaging the US in the long run, because as we speak, all the other European countries are finding other ways to fund their military. They're not going to let Russia walk right through.
All
That's,
around the
if
world,
they take over
new
Ukraine.
agreements have been made. Like China, Russia, and I
Yeah,
think Saudi
I'm just
Arabia, is
saying
it? They
none of it's
they've
good for the
North
U.S.
Korea,
Yeah, they're
say again.
trying to change currency.
OG, what'd you say?
North Korea, China,
Right,
Russia, North
right.
Korea,
Yeah,
and
they've
India.
all for the first
India.
time ever made new alliances so they can get around America.
It's
They don't
working.
need us anymore. They figured it out.
Yeah, it's not good.
But we also have an air base that now um, our great leader of Orange has said if you don't give it back to us, it won't be good for you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because
and Russia.
he loves to saber rattle because he desperately wants to be like his idol Pootie Poo. Okay, and a lot of the things he's doing, actually almost all of them, are exactly what Pootie did in Russia. This slow takeover of American businesses. Putin is,
Media.
by some estimates, possibly the world's richest man because he has funneled all industries to him. And that's what Dump is trying to do too.
Well, and there's concern that he's trying to take and get this to get back in Russia's good graces. Because if he could get them that airfield, because he's kind of ticked off people, so they're wanting to charge us now for access to that airfield because they do have contracts with other people in the UN. It's it looks like it's going to be a power grab to possibly be a bargaining chip, and that's all he knows. So his reading level is at a third grade level, is my understanding, and when
And his
they're talking about
comprehension level is lower than that.
yes, so he uses manipulation communication as well. If you actually look at how he speaks, but his like I'm going to say the thing that I'm not supposed to say, but then I'm going to say so many off-topic things, and then I'm going to come back to that, but then I'm going to change and make it different by putting a word in like beautiful or big or glamorous or blah blah blah. So he doesn't understand the complexities of manipulative communication, or but he's using it in a very scaled back rhetoric form of it, and he's used it for years.
Whose air base are we talking about? Like, who's taking over an air base?
It was a new tweet that he had put out. Let me think here. Sorry.
It's the air base in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Okay, it starts with a
he's
B.
talking about reinvading.
Yeah, he wants to retake that air base because of its proximity to China.
Yeah.
Trump does.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean,
The look,
who
at the
gave it
end of
up
the
in the
day,
first
the Middle
place?
East is where empires go to perish. They
Yes, it
always
has.
Especially
have been,
Afghanistan.
and America is no different.
Yeah.
Well, and we have supposedly all these deals, but he's like, but I still have to talk to him. So they're not deals.
We
They're not
don't have
finalized.
any deals. He lies
And
about all
right,
that shit.
and his plane, they're asking for it back.
There was one thing he said a month or two back. I don't remember exactly which country he was talking about. He's like, "Oh, we have this amazing deal. It's going to be 20 gazillion trillion billion billion dollars,"
I know.
and one of the country's representatives were like, "We're not even talking to him." So he
Right.
just makes shit up whole cloth.
Well, and we have some issues too with like he'll say these things and like stock markets and things will fluctuate majorly, and then we have people in that are representatives that are openly bragging of, well, I saw it happening,
Ken
so I figured
Bundy.
I'd just walk on in. MTG has said it, and Mike Johnson. The My favorite though was Mike Johnson trying to spin that
Mhm.
Orange Orange, whatever he is, was an FBI
Tangerine
undercover
tits.
agent. He doesn't have the intelligence for it.
Mike
I call
Johnson's
him
an
tangerine
idiot.
tits.
Mike
He's a
Johnson
snitch.
is, to me, he really reminds me of John Wayne Gacy.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that to be bombastic. I honestly get that feeling from him. Like when he
So
talked about that he and his 17-year-old son monitor each other's corn intake, I'm like, what in the fuck is going on there?
so he was a friend of the family. Like his parents were friends of my grandparents, and he was a
Whoa.
clown at my brother's birthday party when he was little.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you
Sorry.
for validating my instinct. Yeah.
He,
Um,
he what now?
he also adopted a young
Yes.
black man at the age of 14, I believe, before he got married. Um,
Yeah, he said he's
and
19.
And he kind of dropped out.
was he 19? I thought he was 14. Maybe it was.
No, he was 19 when he adopted the young male.
Oh, he was 19 when he adopted the 14-year-old
How the fuck does that work?
young male.
Uh,
How
Don't
do
look
they
at me.
allow a
Let's see.
19-year-old to adopt somebody?
Where is he from? Alabama?
Yeah, I think
Where's,
so. I'm trying
where's
to
Mike
remember.
And
Johnson from? I don't know.
anyway, you'll not see him in any family photos or anything like that.
He's not part of their
Because
narrative.
No, not at all.
Oh, it's a Seven
Brother
Mountains
Johnson's from
thing,
Louisiana.
Yoda.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Louisiana.
It's
What
a
about Louisiana?
Seven Mountain.
Billy asked where Johnson was from, and I said Louisiana.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's it. I did.
I
Hey,
think he's
Logan, how you
kind of
doing?
closeted.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think he's closeted.
I don't care
Oh,
about that. I
absolutely.
mean, what I care about is the horrifying things he says against the rainbow community. Like
Exactly.
if his naughty bits tingle when he sees a dude, I don't give a fuck about that. But the hypocrisy that is so dangerous and destructive is the thing that bothers me.
That's why I said I think he's closeted, because he is so anti-LGBTQIA.
I mean, it's kind of guaranteed when you hear a Republican politician saying anything negative about the rainbow community, it's because they're part of it. That's like, it's almost guaranteed because the ones that are not part of it never say anything about it. You know, it's only the ones that feel guilt and shame over it because their invisible friend in the sky doesn't want people touching each other's naughty bits.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb shit. God
Can
damn it.
I jump in and share something right quick? My own brother. When I was younger, my girlfriend and I would go over to his apartment, and he would have men there as his boyfriends, and I met his boyfriends, and then he had some mental things go on and was hospitalized and had shock therapy for extreme depression, and it shocked the gay out of him, and he became very, very Mormon and very opinionated about my life because I didn't have the gospel in my life, and um, just became the most fucking uptight prick that look down upon everybody Mormon. That yeah.
You know, all
So I
religions
see
are
it
goofy
in
to
my own
me,
family
but
with people.
Mormonism in particular makes me laugh
Yeah, well,
because
no joke. It's a
what
big
was his
cult.
name? Joseph Campbell? Was that the head of that church?
Smith.
Joseph Smith,
Smith.
thank you. Joseph Smith was a known con man.
Yep.
And the way he created it was so funny to me. It's like, hey, I found a box of rocks and they talk to me, but I can't show you because I'm the only one that understands the box of rocks. And what I think is hilarious is that the way he met his demise was the townspeople stoned him to his end, to his expiration, right? And so after he was discovered to be an outrageous con man, somehow the religion that he invented, where they said Christ came from North America, which of course not any goofier than the other Christ story, but they
Very
that
white.
that still somehow carried on. I find that amazing. You
Very
know,
white. It's because it's very, very white and very popular.
white
And
tea, white tea.
oh, I'm
Well,
sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, I mean,
Didn't
and
know
I
that
mean,
one.
like
White
people, like
tea.
I think it's really, really funny and ironic when Christians or Catholics make fun of, say, L. Ron Hubbard's thing, Scientology. They're like, oh, did you, supposedly an alien came down from the sky, Xenu, and he's the one that populated Earth. And I was like, and your Jewish space zombie is more interesting somehow and makes more sense than that.
No, I have my bachelor's in integrated ministry studies, and what cracks me up is if you look at how much suppression the huge book of Judgy is based on. If anyone came up against it, what did they do? Or if any ideal was different than theirs, what did they do? Even when they came over to this land, what did they do with people who had different beliefs that were from here? They squashed them down. So if they didn't have their crusades, would it have been such a popular story?
I mean, Crusades, Inquisition, witch hunts. We're
Yeah.
talking about a 900
Years.
year period of carnage. And, I'm particularly disappointed in minorities that are Catholic because that religion was literally beaten into our ancestors.
Hmm.
So I don't know why it's not roundly rejected by minorities, but I don't understand black Republicans either. So,
Well, and
whatever.
they took Native Americans and took them out of this country to places in Canada to have their ancestry and their beliefs and anything that was their own taken from them.
It's the colonizer's way, right? This is how
Mhm.
they operate. That's why, I've been saying for over 40 years that America's bullshit. This is not a great country. It's a shitty country. And there was a lot of propaganda that people bought into, and we're all susceptible to it. I don't judge people for falling for propaganda because that's the nature of propaganda, is that it works. And it worked
Just
on
not
me
propaganda.
until
We
I
were
was a it
indoctrinated.
worked on me until I was a teenager, and then it stopped working on me. And
Yeah.
ever
We
since
were
then, I've been having these conversations, and I defy anybody to prove me wrong about what I'm saying. Nobody has ever been able to.
So I can tell you something that so my degree is from a religious based university, but we studied other religions, other belief systems, other narratives, other backgrounds. Okay. The other part of it too is when you look at who do you want to have who do you think is a good leader? Who do you think is someone that wants you to grow? Is it someone that wants you to only believe what they're telling you, or is it someone that tells you that you need to do your research, you need to look into yourself and look at what you see in front of you, what you hear around you, and what is going on to make your own opinion? What makes you grow?
I think in an ideal world of my own creation, the moment a politician starts talking about his invisible friend in the sky, they are not qualified.
Exactly. And so we're suppressing by telling people what and how they should live based on what I believe and what I read.
And the things that they're reading were written by sand dwellers who were mostly illiterate and didn't know what bacteria was.
The other part of it is even So it was orally, traditionally, it was orally translated back and forth, kind of like fairy tales or storytelling. Every culture has had some kind of belief system or oversee of social norms and social constructs of what is good, what is bad. And so when they did write it down, they don't have the original scrolls, but also languages have changed. So then it was retranslated and lost meaning. But then we had translation in King James time, where he made everything that had any kind of female connotation to it was either downplayed or taken out. And then it was re-added back in, I want to say, the 1950s, 60s, with Ruth and Esther and Mary. Not the mother, but the one that was
Mary
Mary
Magdalene.
Magdalene. Yes, sorry.
So let me ask you a quick trivia question
So
regarding
it's been
the
changed.
Bible. Roughly, how many differences are there between the King James version and the Sinai text?
Oh gosh, over 600 easily.
Try again. It's over 13,000.
Right. I know that I know that I'm not thinking the right. We were talking about
You get the
Hebrew
point, Yoda.
translation. I
You
think
get the
it's
point.
600.
But total differences over 13,000. So and by the way, King James, I love to say this because it's true, was a
Mm-hmm.
gigantic asshole. He was a horrible person. And for people to disregard the idea that a king commissioned this work and had no agenda, really? We're assuming that the king had no agenda, this piece of shit king that was terrible to his subjects. We don't think he wanted this work for a particular reason, because
Well,
most leaders of the time were like, you know, they were promoting God because they would always associate themselves with God. Like, God has anointed me your leader.
and in history, King James actually, it was spread that or there was rumors that he could have been a person that liked men, and it was not accepted at that time. So instead of being okay, he made it work like he overly alphaed the Bible.
Yeah, it's overcompensation.
Yes. And so that's why women were reduced and words were changed and meanings were changed.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. And words had been, sorry, I keep on getting muted. Um, I don't
I
know.
didn't mute you,
I don't know what happened there. But
I don't have mods, so
okay. I don't know. Basically, they have proven that there's some words in the Bible that they use in Leviticus 18 wasn't actually about the H word. It was about the P word, and that they changed it to the H or to the M word instead of young men. So there are some words where he is using, like in Sodom and Gomorrah, that aren't about homosexuality, but about the P word.
yeah, it's a long list of
Yeah.
fucking nonsense in there, so we can leave it there. But we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and because I'm fat, I'm hungry. So let's get final thoughts. Let's start with Alarm Me. Do you have any final thoughts? You can unmute yourself, or I just invited you to unmute.
I would say that I think that we're gonna make it out okay after this. It's just trying to be able to take and breathe, but we have to stand firm.
Could be. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here. All right, Billy, final thoughts. You have to unmute yourself. Can you do it? Let me send you an invitation, see if that helps. All right, Billy has disappeared. OG, any final thoughts?
Um, I don't necessarily share the optimism that we're going to make it out of this unscathed. Um, it, I think we have a long road to hoe, and it's going to get ugly before it gets better.
Sure.
I think people are entrenched, and um, I think the uh, I think the mega hats are um, not willing to give up their support for their what they call their daddy.
Yeah. Thank you,
And
Ryan Maker, for the heart puffs. Appreciate that. I'm sorry. Please continue.
and he's dragging us towards a authoritarian government if he were not already there.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing your thoughts. Tomorrow night I'm off, but I will be back Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.
All right, come join me some night.
All right. Take care.
All
All right. Billy, I see that you're unmuted. What are your final thoughts?
Oh, I had a fantastic time meeting you. I had to mute because I had to run into the other room for a second. Take care of my dog. He's making noise. But fantastic meeting you and Dave, right?
I think you mean Danny.
Danny. Thank you very much. What time are you on?
10 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Saturday.
Cool.
Monday through Thursday, I normally talk about current events, although I've also been sprinkling in some personal development stuff these days. And Friday is always casual Friday, and Saturday is usually either chill Saturday or Saturday chill, dealer's choice.
Right.
And, we talk about anything. Today is actually the most politics we've spoken on a Saturday in a long time, but that's okay. That happens. But thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate your time and your
Well, I
thoughts.
agreed with a lot of what you had to say, so I look forward to seeing you in the future. And thank you for everything, audience.
All
And
right,
have a great
excellent.
night.
Danny, my older brother from another mother and last man standing as always. What is on your mind for final thoughts?
Well, of course, we're going to have a nice Sunday. You and I are going to watch movies and take naps in the couch or the chair, whatever preferably. So that's a good thing, and we deserve the rest, you know.
I passed
And
out
but
in a food
Monday,
coma earlier today.
there you go. And on Monday, obviously, I'll be back live at 3 p.m. Pacific time with the Way of Positive Change. I'll be talking current events on Monday. But I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays with current events at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And on Friday, I have the show of shows on TikTok called Trivial Pursuit. It's Casual Friday. And if you want to come in and have some fun, come to my Trivial Pursuit show. We have a blast. Professor Yoda is always there on the panel. Of course, he's always there on my lives on Monday and Wednesday. But we work kind of, he's my co host. We're kind of a team. I always show up at his at 10 p.m. Eastern, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But thank you so much for having me up, Yoda. As usual, it's always a pleasure to have spend some time with my little brothers.
All right, man. Thank you as always. We'll talk soon. I'm sure there'll be more chatter tomorrow.
Oh yeah, chatter tonight, chatter tomorrow. So enjoy your dinner.
All right, thank you. All right, folks. Hey, if you're not following Danny, you are out of your fucking mind. Okay, and let me reiterate what he said about Trivial Pursuit. Now, it just so happens that apparently I win most of the time, but that's not why I'm there. I honestly don't care about winning. I don't know how it's gone on this long that I keep winning. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's just what's been happening. But we have so much fun playing the game. Okay? The answers make us laugh, some of the questions make us laugh. Our banter is hilarious, and all I can promise you is that if you show up on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, adjust for your goofy time zone, and you just, even in the chat, even if you're not playing along, even though you can, in the chat, you can give answers too, but just being there for 3 hours with a bunch of people laughing, not talking about politics, not talking about current events, just having a good time. It is the most fun that you're going to have anywhere on social media. I promise you that. So check it out. We've had some new people coming in the last few weeks, and it's just fun, fun, fun every week. Vicky says it cracks me up when you guess, and it's right. Yeah, I feel the same way. I find it hilarious when I guess and it's right. I'm not feigning surprise. I genuinely am surprised when I guess and it's right. But anyway, folks, for the panelists who came up, great conversation, stimulating. It went all over the place. We started with a song from Van Halen. We talked about whale watching. We talked about Massachusetts. We talked about all sorts of shit, and then we wound up on CK and the lunatic president. But it was all good. I enjoyed all of that stuff. So, thank you to the panel again, and thank you to everyone that comes regularly to witness this insanity. I appreciate you more than I can express. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, the gifts, but most of all, I thank you for your time because that is the most valuable thing that you have. And the fact that you choose to spend it with me uh, is something that I will always be grateful for. So until we meet again, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.